Hello, my name is Edward Hunter and welcome to Apple Valley for highlights from the 4th round of the 2022 FSR Stockcar PRO Championship. Jerne Simoncic qualified on pole position, but his burst teammate Damian Skovron was passed at the green flag by Jan Voznica, who then went around the outside of Fabian Ballet before setting after Rory McDuff's second place race clutch car. Tribute Racing's Viktor Ivanov was next to slipstream past Skovron, as Voznica got a superb run around the outside to clear McDuff and Simoncic in one fell swoop at turn 1 to take the lead. McDuff soon found himself being challenged for third by the TX3 of Ballet. He was able to hold on until lap 5 when Ballet used the tow from Simoncic to overcome the American. Behind them, Ivanov drifted into the final corner and found Zoltzuks and Skovron squeezing him out of the top 5 as the chasing pack jostled each other for position. It was Valet's Stavros Muzeidis who was the first to hit major trouble. Diving up the inside of Arda Ercan and Liam Howard for 12th, he was given a tap from behind by Mirko Mancini that left him sideways on the racing line. Mancini then had another crash with Jurgen van Bergen, sending him into the path of Saido Valère, Darius Andre and Alexei Zylev. The safety car was then deployed and Carlos Martin was among those who pit, rolling the dice after being caught up in early incidents. Voznica led at the restart, but it was McDuff who was quickest on the throttle and able to slingshot around the outside of Ballet back into third. Thomas Vash was fighting Henk Jan Seneca for 10th, as just ahead of them Matt Toussaint cleared Danny van den Eet for 8th. Michi Hoyer went around the outside of Jake Denahan and Ercan for 13th. Vasilian Patsidis was eager to follow him through, but his enthusiasm got the better of him, as he bumped into the back of the championship leader and was sent into the outside wall. Climbing down from the banking, he collected Borge Milan and Kevin Morville, leading to safety car number 2. Ballet pit from 4th, with Ercan and Alessandro Valente switching to the same strategy. Voznica once more led the restart on lap 24, but there was drama behind as Toussaint was hit from the rear by Michi Hoyer, sending the ground effect car into Howard and Steneker. The race continued unabated, however, as Hoyer recovered by overtaking the Visceral eSports car of Andre. Loic Moynier was next in Hoyer's sights, as Martin was able to trail in the slipstream to pass Andre. Hoyer, Moynier and Vire then went 3 wide, with Hoyer yet again sweeping through around the outside to climb into 14th. The pack behind had bunched up, allowing Martin to swap positions with his teammate Moynier. Thomas Vash found Paul August Lane relieving him of 10th place, as Hoyer hung onto his coattails to repass Denahan. Stan Velistra made contact fighting with Andre and was lucky not to lose control. Ercan wasn't so fortunate, as Valente ran into the back of him and the TX3 was sent plummeting down the order. Denahan now found himself under attack from Vash, but was able to hold on thanks to a sideways moment for the RSR driver. Green flag pit stops were now being made as Hoyer pit on lap 36. Ballet meanwhile was fighting August Lane and Savalev as he attempted to climb through the pack on his alternate strategy. On lap 37 he found a way through, but Muzeidis got a cold reception following behind as Savalev bumped him multiple times. Voznica had been shuffled down to third and now pit with Skovron and the 2 Tribute Racing cars close behind him. The pole would emerge right behind Simoncic when the burst driver made his own stop a lap later. Behind there was drama as Patrick Hanke crashed into Zux, taking the Hungarian out of the race. Ballet now led as Moynier passed the 1ACO of Milan for third, before the Irish driver made his own pit stop at the end of lap 44. Hoyer had been able to undercut McDuff, meaning the American lost touch with Skovron, Voznica and Simoncic, who were fighting their way back into the top 10. Hoyer's tyres were starting to go off, however, allowing McDuff up the inside. Hoyer continued to drop back, but Ivanov was on a charge, slotting up the inside of first Jukapega Lalu and then the burst of Hoyer in a bold double overtake. Ballet pit on lap 50, followed by Valente, Mancini and Ercan as Simoncic resumed the lead. Ballet emerged right behind Moynier, and the Irish driver gave him a handy tow which he used to overcome Muzeidis. A few laps later, the duo came upon Denahan, who could do little to keep them at bay on his older tyres as they cleared the Irishman around the outside. They then caught up to Vash, who was already in the middle of making a move on Hoyer. Moynier and Ballet trailed the Polish driver past the burst car until they made their own bid for the inside, splitting them into 2 rows. Hoyer then got slightly too high on the banking and touched the wall, allowing a grateful Denahan back through. Martin repaid his earlier favour and allowed Moynier through, but this opened the door for Ballet to stealthily slip past as well. Musadis now passed Hoyer to compound his frustrations, as McDuff had finally caught and passed Skovron for third. Ballet had by this point become somewhat bored of staring at the back of Moynier's Iris, and made a move around the outside going into lap 64. Almost immediately, Ballet got a new toe from Ivanov, which he used to get up into 5th place. Voznica was applying pressure to Simonchik for the lead and got sideways right as the Slovenian made for the pit lane. Voznica would pit the following lap, but not before a close call with the lapped royal blue of Jared Batala. Simonchik crucially emerged behind McDuff and Voznica, but he quickly dispatched the race clutch car. Ballet was pushing to the very limits of his car to make his strategy work as Van Bergen went over his, doing a full 360-degree spin. Ballet and Moynier pit on lap 75, and the German would emerge from the pits in front of Voznica and Simonchik, only to be left a sitting duck down the back straight with not enough time to move across and block the pair. A lap later, McDuff caught Ballet by surprise of a sneaky move up the inside at the final corner. Disaster then struck for Lalu as he found himself spun into the wall after contact from Tucson. The safety car was sent out and Mancini pit from the lead for much needed fuel. With 2 laps to go, there was a chaotic final restart as Ivanov reacted very early, making contact with Skovron and collecting 5th place Martin and Vash in a huge incident. Musadis failed to react in time and sent Hoyer spinning into the wall. Ivanov found himself reversing onto the racing line and was then hit again by Van Bergen for good measure. The chaos wasn't over yet though, as Musadis tangled with Milan and Mancini down the back straight, blowing a top 10 finish. Then it all came down to the final lap, as Simonchik made a last-ditch bid around the outside at the final corner. He looked to have pulled it off, but on the drag race to the finish line, Voznica took the shorter route, and by the slender margin of 0.03 of a second, he was able to win the California 175 in a thrilling photo finish. McDuff held off a late attack from Moynier to round out the podium. Ballet finished just ahead of the ever-consistent Denahan in 5th. Andre was 7th ahead of Valente and Patrick Hanko, with Skovron bumped down to 10th. Savalev was 11th, beating Massimiliano Riboli, Via, Mancini, Morville and Musadis. Jean-Michel Garnier was 17th ahead of a disappointed Erchan, Matthias Harvig and Howard. Steneker was 21st, then it was the wounded warriors of Hoyer, Martin, Milan and Vash who all saw their hopes dashed. Ampatsidis was 26th, then it was Velistra, Harry Smith, Van der Neet and August Lane. Ivanov's suspension gave out, but he was still classified ahead of Lalu, Lianos, Van Bergen, Tucson and Ryan Elliott, with Batala, Tobias Blumschein, Oliver Perikian and Zux crashing out. With 1 round to go, here's the state of play in the title race. Jake Denahan moves into an 8-point lead over Fabian Ballet, with his teammate Arda Erchan dropping to 3rd, a point behind. Voznica's last gasp victory puts him now just 13 points off the lead. Skovron is a further 10 points behind in 5th, then it's Martin, Musadis and Moynier. Simonchik is 9th despite only having done 2 races, and Velistra rounds out the top 10. With 12 drivers in mathematical contention, it's anyone's guess who's going to walk away with the Stockcar Pro title. We'll find out at the season finale, the Daytona 225, on the 13th of November. But for now, from me, Edward Hunter, and from sunny California, it's goodbye.